This week we are going to be talking about independent and subordinate clauses. Students will be able to identify independent clauses and subordinate clauses, and students will be able to write a definition for an independent clause and for a subordinate clause. Let's get started. As always, we'll start with a review. A subject plus a predicate equals a sentence. A noun or pronoun plus a verb gives us a sentence. Here's an example. My hand fell to the stock of the rifle. The verb or action is fell. The who or what is the hand. Yes, it's a sentence. A sentence is an independent clause. My hand fell to the stock of the rifle. It doesn't need anything else to make sense. It's a complete thought. So a sentence is an independent clause. I saw what was really at the other end. In this example, the verb is saw. Who saw or what saw? I saw. This is a sentence. It's an independent clause. It's a complete thought. It has a subject, a verb, and it makes sense. It doesn't need anything else. As he stepped farther inside. This one's tricky. It seems like a sentence because it has a verb, stepped, and it has a subject, he. But we have this word as here. We're going to learn more about that word later, but if we read this, as he stepped farther inside, our ears tell us that's not a complete sentence. It's an incomplete thought. This is a subordinate clause. It has a subject and a verb, but it does not express a complete thought. It needs something else to make sense. You can put a subordinate clause and an independent clause together, and then you can have a sentence. We'll take our two previous examples. As he stepped farther inside, I saw what was really at the other end. We combine them, it makes sense. Now we have a complete sentence. Your job this week is to be able to identify a subordinate clause and an independent clause in a sentence. As I arranged the clothes in my pack, my hand hit the spine of one of my books. My hand hit the spine of one of my books. That's independent. It makes sense all by itself. As I arranged the clothes in my pack, that's a subordinate clause. It doesn't make sense unless it's attached to an independent clause. Altogether, as I arranged the clothes in my pack, my hand hit the spine of one of my books. That's good. When the grave was filled, the shovel slipped from Dad's hands. The shovel slipped from Dad's hands is independent. That could stand alone by itself. It doesn't need anything else. But it does have the subordinate conjunction. The subordinate clause. When the grave was filled, to get it started. So your job is you are going to write a definition for an independent clause and for a subordinate clause. Review the video to help you figure out what to write. Then, in the next activity, you are going to identify the independent clauses and the subordinate clauses. As always, please let me know if you need help.